back to my channel. Hey guys, my name is Armani, and that's all you need to know. So today's video is a story time. I haven't done a story time on my channel in a long time, so I'm bringing it back to you like never before.
Ha ha ha! I'm back, bitches!
This story time is about me and my best friend breaking down in my car at 3 in the morning on the highway. I had a car. It was a purple PT Cruiser. Her name was Lily. Lily was my girl. Like, Lily was my girl. She got me from A to B. She was a hoopty, but she got me from A to B, and sometimes even C. When I got her, she already had like problems. And even after we fixed the problems, she had more problems. So there was always something wrong with her, like always. But she was still like a good, faithful car, and that got me from A to B, and sometimes C. Even D. Oh, she got me to D a lot of times. If you know what I mean. This happened last semester. So between August and December, yeah. I brought her back to school and everything. Great, loving it. So one day I'm in McDonald's drive-thru and a light comes on. I have no idea what this light is. It doesn't look familiar. Never seen it a day in my life. Never seen this light. It comes on, but it's beeping, like beep, 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 like what is going on? So I turn my car off, let it sit, and turn it back on. The light's off. I'm like, okay, that's fine with me. The light came back on maybe like 2 times since then. But like the times that it came back on, it was shut off while I was still driving. Like the light will go off. I'm just like, what does this mean? I didn't even know how to like search for it because I didn't know what the light was. All last semester, majority of my like real close friends had already graduated. So majority of the time I was by myself. So I got bored like boots. So I told my best friend, who doesn't go here, who never went here, I told him he should come down here and spend the weekend with me. Or spend the week with me. I was like, I'm going to come get you and bring you back to school. And he was like, okay, he was down for it. So I'm like, oh yeah, my best friend's coming. So I have practice on Monday. Practice is from 7 to 9. So after practice, that's when I was gonna go home and go home and pick him up and bring him back to school. The practice is over. I got my water, I got my little snacks. I'm ready to hit the road, drive 2 hours back home to go get my best friend and come back. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm heading on the road, I'm driving, whoop, 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 yes, cool, cool, cool. The light comes on, like throughout the 2 hours. I make it home, I pick him up, we go back to his house so he can pack, even though I told him to pack before I got there so that we could just leave straight. But no, he didn't want to listen. He didn't pack. I left school like around 9:30. I got there like around 11:50ish, close to 12. We leaving at like maybe like around 12ish, 12 a.m. at night, whatever, to go back to school. Oh, I forgot to mention, I had a friend, one of those friends, my friend, they were on their way to my school to come visit me while I was going to go pick up my best friend. So I was like, okay, we'll just go wait in my house until I come back. And they were like, okay. So me and my best friend are on our way back to school. Great, fine and dandy. Cool. The light comes on again. And I'm like, what does this mean? And it's on for like a long time. I'm like, what does this mean? So he goes on his phone to like look it up. And it was a light that means your engine may be overheating. And I was like, I could see the needle go higher and higher and higher. But as I slowed my car down, the needle would go like down back to like normal level and the light would shut off. But then as I started, accelerating more, it would just go back higher and go back higher and stay there for a while and then go back down and the light would go off, and it would just do that throughout the whole entire drive. So I'm like, what is going on? Me and my best friend are about maybe like an hour and like 15 minutes away from school. I'm like, okay, great, we're gonna already get there. We're on this pitch black road with no like street lights or anything. My car starts slowing down. Like I'm literally flooring it. This is my foot. I'm going like this, like trying to like push it all the way down to the floor, and it's not going anywhere. And it's just like just slowing down. I'm like, what the fuck? So I pull over to the side, and I put the car in park, and lo and behold, my hood starts smoking, and I'm gagging. Like, I've never experienced that in my life. I'm gagging, my best friend is gagging, and we're like, oh my gosh, we gotta get out the car, what if it blow up, what if it do this? Like, we're thinking the worst. So we get out the car, and we're just looking at my car standing there, and it's just smoking, and smoke is coming from all under the hood and everything. I'm just like, mind you, we're still on a highway. Like this random ass highway. I called my friend. He was already in my room, everything laid down, whatever. Me and Derek broke down on the highway. And we need you to come get us. That's how you know, like, it was real, because they drove an hour backwards. I'm just like, oh, thanks. Me and my best friend, we still have the lights on. We're sitting in the back seat because we're scared to sit in the front seat because the car was still smoking. So we sit in the back seat. We didn't want to stay outside because it was pitch black dark outside. That's like, it was scary. Nothing but woods on the side, nothing. I'm just like creeped out, keep watching everywhere, looking like, is someone come out the bushes? Cause like, it was so scary. We're sitting there, and then some headlights come up behind us. It's the police. It's a police car. He turned his lights on and everything. Just imagine being a police officer, seeing a car like, oh, we had our headlights on too. So seeing a car like on the side of the road, and just two people sitting in the back seat, and nobody's in the passenger or front seat, the driver's seat at all. That's like, he's probably like, what the fuck is going on here? So we explained to him, my engine overheated. We're in the process of waiting for someone to come pick us up. He was like, you might want to turn, your lights off and stuff too, because your battery might go dead, whatever. So I'm like, oh my gosh, really? What the fuck? So we turned the lights off and we turned the hazards off, and that really made it pitch black. So he was like, he's gonna drive to the station, to go get some flares so that he can put it behind the car so people can see us, because nobody can see us at all on that road. Like, that's how dark it was. No one could see that car. So if a truck had to pull over and was pulling over right then and there, we would have got hit. We were like, okay, well, our ride is maybe like 45 minutes away. He's gonna come get us, and you can go get your flares. So he said he'll be back. Me and Derek just sitting in the car, waiting, watching videos to pass the time. And my friend has sent me his location so I could track, how far away he was or whatever. So we're just sitting there, and these it's a highway, so these big ass, huge ass traveling trucks are flying past us, shaking the car. They're going so fast. Like, when I tell you, we were terrified. Like, it was so many trucks that was literally this close to us. Like, that close. Like, this, like that. Like that right there. By the way, that close. We're just sitting there, like, having to be unbothered. It's dangerous outside of the car, and it's dangerous inside the car. An hour passed, and the police officer still has not came back yet. So we sat there for an hour in the car in pitch black darkness.
This isn't your average everyday darkness. This is advanced darkness.
Police car finally pulls up behind us. It was a whole different police officer than the one from the first time. My friend was an hour away, and now he's 5 minutes away, and you're just now coming to give us flares? What? He put the flares up behind us, and then he got the fuck. He put the flares up and he left. About maybe 5 minutes passed after the police, not even 5 minutes, maybe like 3 minutes after the police officer left, my friend pulls up, and I was like, ah! I was never, ever, like, more happy to see him right then and there than I was right then and there. So we try to start it up again. It starts up, everything's good, everything's cool. So we get to driving, I'm like, follow behind me until I get to school. He's like, okay. So we get to driving, maybe 20 minutes down the road, the little needle starts going up again and the light starts to come back on. I'm like, what is going on? So we're still driving, and then it does it again. My car is slowing down and slowing down. So I have to pull back over again. At this point, it's about 2 in the morning. Now all three of us are sitting in the car trying to figure out what we can do, trying to figure out how we can get back to school and everything. We get in his car and we go back to my house at school, which was still like an hour away. So by the time we get back there, it's about 3 in the morning and we're tired, pooped, and go to sleep. Woke up the next morning, early, bright, like 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm energized and ready to go because my car's still out there. I'm not trying to get towed. They're still asleep. So I wake them up, we get dressed, we head to Walmart. We get some antifreeze, some gel thing that in case it's a leak, you use it to patch the leak. You like pour it in there and it supposedly patches the leak. And we got like this little pulley rope thing, because we were like, if that doesn't work, we're gonna tow it ourselves back to school, which was a dumb idea. So we bought all of that. Well, they bought all that. They bought all of that for me because I was a broke college student. We drove an hour back out in the highway to my car. So we get to it, pop the hood. We're like 3 little game mechanics out there. We're trying to figure out where to put it at. Reading the manual, everything, looking it up on Google where to put the antifreeze. So we find out where to put it. We unscrew the cap. We put the antifreeze in there. It's full. We see it. It's all full. It's at a high level. Screw it back on. Turn my car on. It starts. We're good to go. We're good to go. So we're driving. I'm like, follow behind me again. And maybe like a good another 20-25 minutes, the car starts doing the same fucking thing. This time, it slowed down on the street. Like, I wasn't on the highway anymore, I was on the street. It slowed down on the street. And I'm trying to like maneuver it and pull into McDonald's. But it was like, the wheel was like literally locking. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So halfway going into like the parking lot of McDonald's, I had to get out and push the car into the parking lot from the street. So we get into McDonald's and but lo and behold, the hood is smoking again. It's all the smoke just coming up out of nowhere. So we're like, okay, we're gonna use the rope. Let's use the rope. We try and figure out some way to attach the rope from my car to his car, and we're like, this rope is long. Like, the rope was long. It was long. So just imagine like a road being like this small, right? His car would have been right here. My car would have been back here. And this is the rope. Like, that's not gonna work. Just imagine turning like this and my car just like flinging everywhere. That would have been a travesty. So we just completely paid that idea and threw the rope away. It was some auto store that sold like, it was basically like, it was like an AutoZone, but it wasn't AutoZone. Well, maybe the engine needs some oil. The oil wasn't low. Well, okay, the oil wasn't gone, but it was low. Like, it was like at the minimum line when I checked the thing. So I maybe need some oil in there. We're gonna put some oil in there and see what happens then. It was like a repairman in there, or somebody that worked at it was basically a mechanic in there. And he was basically giving me the rundown of what could be wrong and what you need to do. We're all just like, I think he said 150. He was like, if nothing works, then I can tow it back to your school for 150. I believe he said 150 or 125. It was between 125 and 150. So my best friend was like, fine, that's doable, cool. And towed it back to his little shop or whatever. They're working on the car. We're just sitting there and sitting there and sitting there. So he finally told us what was wrong with the car. It was just a bunch of stuff that came up to about $400 to fix. And I'm like, I don't have $400 to fix this. So we were just like, okay, we're gonna get it towed back to my school. When I initially told him that I wanted to get it towed back to school, he thought I was talking about Salisbury University, which is down the street. So that's why he said 125. But when he heard it was Princess Anne, which is like 20 minutes up the road, he said 200.
Unacceptable!
So thankfully, thankfully, my best friend puts up 100, and my friend puts up 100. And they pay it, and they get it towed back to my school. If it wasn't for them, my car was still probably sitting in McDonald's parking lot. Like, but my best friend is the best person in the world, like, ever. They got it towed back to my school, and it just sat there, and sat there, and sat there. Fast forward down the line, my grandfather, who was the mechanic that always fixed on my car, he came to my school, fixed on it, it started, and everything was good. He said drive it around for a few, just for a few to see, make sure everything's good and don't come back off. So I drove it to practice one day, parked it on campus, practice was over, and I went to my car and it didn't start. It would not start whatsoever. So me and my friends pushed it to visitors parking, and it sat there for months and months and months until I left school, got it, sold it to some mechanic people, and bought a new car, which I love now. His name is Deuce, aka Banji D. And yeah, like, at the time I was going through that whole breakdown of my car. I was so over it when I was ready to cry and just I was going through it. But the whole time my best friend was like, well, at least this could be one for the memories, You said I'm like, what do you know? What do you mean? Like, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to have this memory. How many people can say they broke down at 3 in the morning on the highway in pitch black darkness?
City?
Darkness.
Come on. Wait, now you're gonna play the race card?
Darkness.
But that concludes the story. Moral of the story, get your lights on your car checked out. Because you never know what they mean. But I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. Remember to subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment if you ever experience any car troubles like this. Because cars require too much. Honestly, they require too much. Gas, tires, oil, tune-up, this, and the third. That was probably the fourth, but oh well. You get what I'm saying. Stay beautiful, stay kind. Live your life. Why my finger look like that?
Wait, hold on, I ain't done yet.